This one is a juicy one for all the women out there, so bear with me. You really want to. I want to talk about that maybe you might be emasculating your man or men in your life and you don't even know it. For the majority of us women, we want a masculine man. We want the man who is going to cherish us, to support us, to feel that we have like a partner that we can count on and trust. And again, I'm talking about romantic relationship, friendships, family, whatever. We want someone that will provide us, not because we cannot, but because our feminine core energy needs to feel safe and in order to feel safe we need like to have this healthy masculine men around us. We want him to be a man, like, and again, it's not about gender and like a woman cannot do anything. No, we can do everything, but most of us want our partner, the man in our life, to be someone we can put our head on their shoulder and that they can show up as a healthy masculine. But are you letting yourself have it? Or are you emasculating your man and preventing you, the both of you, from having spicy polarity and true fulfillment in your relationship? And that means to any kind of relationship, as I said. So what do I mean by that? Ask yourself, are you focused on being the alpha woman? Women are more successful in their working lives than ever before these days, which is nice. But the question is, at what cost? We think we have to adopt the alpha woman or the girl boss character and in order to achieve what we want, but that is not the case. We don't need to put ourselves into hyperdrive, trying to grind at our work in the same way men do, because we are different. Our energy is different, our core essence is different. And if we try to be the same and do the same and like core and like really like always this achievement, we just burn ourselves out in the process. It's like women like successfully become this type that wearing this too masculine shield and blocking their natural femininity and feminine flow when they come to their relationship. Like, it's good to have the masculine structure and energy when you are in your business or working, but a lot of us don't know how to remove this shield when we are in the company of our men, and then we expect them to be the masculine, but there's no polarity. This means that women hold themselves back and they don't allow themselves, and the key word here is allowing, to soften. And that includes softening in their romantic relationship. And too often, women adopt the alpha personality, which comes with anger, resentment, and attitude toward their men. And this kind of being the girl boss all the time promotes, it's like, oh, it's me against the world mentality, and that you need to be firstly independent and achieve everything and like be extreme independent. I don't need anything, anybody, and then you actually not allow yourself to receive anything. Extreme independency is actually a trauma response. I know that, I've been there. But that's like when you are in this energy that kind of like makes you maybe blame your career or men or society, for how you are and how you feel and how that nobody is treating you the way you are, but it's not true, because there is no responsibility from your side, which is the most important thing. No one is making you be hyper masculine. You're choosing to wear this badge of honor, but for whom? Is it coming from fear? Is it coming from not trusting? But eventually it's destroying your relationships with men and your ability to receive. So I ask you to reflect and ask yourself some questions. Why don't I allow myself to be softened, to soften up and lay back? What am I afraid of? What is bad in my head? That's what you should ask yourself about softening and surrendering. Is there a story behind it? Is there a trauma behind it? What will it mean if you were no longer labeled as a girl boss or alpha woman? Ask yourself, do you think it will make you weak or something like that? Now, what is emasculating? Simply said, emasculating is stripping away his essence, his ability to be your man. Are you engaging in these common ways that you can see women emasculate men today? For example, making jokes about how he's a kid, doesn't do enough, basically putting down everything he does and all the time, like criticizing him, bossing him around, trying to control him, and asking him for help, which is a good thing, but when he does that, being angry on him because he didn't do it right, instead of being grateful. Comparing him to other men, big no-no, big no-no. Not giving him his space and own time that men or masculine energy needs. Mothering him like he cannot do things by himself. And just a simple example of what mothering needs can be like, did you take your vitamins? Did you eat well? And I know it can come from this natural nurturing essence, but why don't you just trust him that he's a big boy and he can take care of himself a little bit? So why do we do that? There are so many reasons that women emasculate men. And it can be that women try to protect themselves from being hurt or let down. Again, it can come from the past. We can do it because we have a story that we always being disappointed by men. And so we have to do everything ourselves, and it comes with a lot of bitterness and anger around this, which again destroys any relationship. Our brain as women think if we kind of put him down just a little bit, maybe he will step the fuck up, but it doesn't work like that. When we put men down, they step back and not step up. We do it because we tell ourselves he's not being masculine enough, so we have to be the masculine and boss him around and in control because someone needs to be in control. Again, not true. We don't allow them to be masculine. So think about that. Also from our exhaustion, frustration, and anger that we aren't being led as we want by the masculine, aren't being protected and provided in the way that we want to be, when at the same time we just don't allow it. So we need to become a safe place for a man to step into their masculinity. That's it. Your femininity can be a muse for him to step into more masculinity. But when you are embodying your softness, your warmth, your openness, your emotions, your sensuality, etc., all this beautiful feminine essence, he's going to want to lead you, want to protect that, to treasure that, and rise up for you. The feminine is like an art, like an ocean for the masculine. It's a gift. So be his gift and let your energy create the change. You know, when you shame a woman, she'll often change because of our intense need for community and acceptance and safety. It's the only way that women feel that we can survive, because in the old days we had to be a part of community. So if we feel that we don't have this connection and community, we kind of in the back of our head feel that we will not survive. And men, they don't need the tribe or this community to survive. So when a man is kind of criticized by you, he doesn't get motivated to be better. He goes into his man cave or turtle shade and just retreats. So it works opposite. Okay, you got it. And you said, so what can you do? What can you ask? Again, look at the way that in which you communicate, and think about that. The way you communicate to your girlfriend should be different from how you should communicate with your man. He has different brain. He receives information and processes it differently. And so you need to communicate in a way that awakens his masculinity, not in a way that you talk to another woman, which can be like, with all the details and stuff. A way that is more focused and more to the point, let's say. You can tell him that it's really light you up that he's directing you and making decisions and taking control. Not because you cannot, but because that allows him to rise up with his masculinity. So many men these days fear their masculinity because of how it's been going on in society, and they're afraid to be like too much or to be blamed for something. So if you kind of help him to feel that you like that he is leading, it will help him to rise up. You gotta let him lead you. If you're not in your feminine, he cannot be in his masculine. So whatever supports your body to soften, let go and relax, try to do that, and do that daily. This way it will be like, okay, you come back home from work, let's say, you know how to soften up and give him the space to come in and lead and be in his masculinity. Ask him to make decisions for things. Tell him that you trust him to do so, and that you will appreciate it. Again, not because you cannot, but because it will help him to rise up. You need to resist the temptation to jump in and take control of everything. Instead, you, again, soften, trust him, allow him to be the provider and the protector, trusting this process, trusting yourself, trusting your femininity and his masculinity, and that's the only way that the polarity in a relationship can be achievable. I really love to talk about this subject, and this is just a taste of the juicy bonus parts that we do in the coaching. I really learned a lot of these easy daily tips and practice that you can do to come into your feminine and to allow your masculine person to rise up for you. And when you join me in the coaching, you get all these juicy tips that will be like, oh my God, this is so simple, relationship don't have to be complicated. And when you know how to to change yourself, to soften up, and how to kind of activate his masculine essence, you will see your relationships changes in front of your eyes. So I invite you to join and get all and more juicy stuff. You can see the link below.